Welcome back to the Mad Cinemists Show, the monthly podcast for people who are mad about movies. As always, we are your hosts, Scott G.
And Phil D.
Alright, we asked you guys at the beginning of the month and asked ourselves a question, and it was, if you could remake a movie with your pick of director and your pick of cast, what would it be? We have our answers, but the answer, and really the only answer we got back that fit the criteria that I set out. So it was pretty much nothing that's been made in the past, remade in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it couldn't already have been a remake. The original can't have come out within the past 10 years, and the actors and director still had to be alive. So the only one that I got was from my buddy Erica, and she suggested Johnny Mnemonic, or Mnemonic, Johnny Mnemonic.
It's mnemonic.
Mnemonic, okay. And done by the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
You can kind of see that.
Moderning it up a little bit, because that's a movie that's really cool, but it's definitely dated in its technology, and I mean, you could almost still get the same cast,
right,
to do that one.
Yeah.
You know, the only response that I got back from my peeps,
your peeps,
is Breakfast Club,
the little marshmallow.
Yeah, exactly.
Peeps.
Yeah, man, did you know they make sour Peeps?
What?
They're so good. I'm not even a Peeps person.
We might have to switch the subject of this episode to sour Peeps.
We're talking about candy now. Candy, man.
But anyways, what'd your peeps say?
Yeah, my peeps said Breakfast Club, done by Sofia Coppola.
Oh shit!
You know, I think that's a great
a
one.
real good match right there. I mean,
yeah. So, and mine.
No, I got an honorable mention.
Oh, you got somebody else?
No, this is like an honorable try because the movie was already remade.
Oh.
But I thought it was so good because the imagery that anyways, it was this was suggested by our buddy Crystal, and she said RoboCop done by the Coen brothers.
Oh,
and I'm
man.
just picturing like a one room cop drama,
yeah.
RoboCop interrogating.
Wonderful, yeah,
with hilarious banter.
I didn't do it,
and
man.
Bluegrass music.
Nice.
Right. But what was yours, man?
So mine, I think this is a really good fit. Which this is one of my favorite movies anyway. Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
But done by Guy Ritchie, and pretty much just the regular cast of Guy Ritchie people, you know.
Oh yeah, just all his normal,
or all his normal folks. You know the people.
Guy who played Bull Tooth.
Yeah, you've seen them. You've seen them all before. All of them.
All.
Yeah, and you just kind of picture who's who, but I think that he could make Reservoir Dogs just a little bit more modern and bitey.
Yeah,
you know,
you'd probably get some actual scenes of them in the bank actually committing
absolutely.
heists, you know what I mean? Yeah,
not a whole bunch, but that could be the opening of the movie.
Yeah,
you know, and I do think it would, you know, it would end up working out
pretty
well.
And he could definitely make it his own.
Yeah. So what about yours?
Well, mine was Virtuosity, done by Neil Blomkamp. Just because I think he can work, he works wonders with CGI.
Oh yeah,
and I mean, and that would have to be like a really heavily CGI based movie. It was pretty much,
definitely.
it was one of the forerunners when it came out. People don't talk about it today, but I mean that I remember
it was a big deal though.
I remember that movie being a pretty big deal. But recasting Russell Crowe with Andy Serkis and Denzel Washington with Idris Elba.
Yeah, man.
Have them play off each other. And what got me thinking about it and what really kind of sold me on that was that video that you showed me of the new camera techniques.
Oh, the Unreal Engine 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Where the actor doesn't have to wear like a big suit of ping pong balls. They just, act in front of the camera and then they overlay whatever creature.
I think they still have to draw on their face.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But still.
Whatever.
I mean,
yeah,
it's way less cumbersome than
way less.
Way less. They can emote a lot more. And
yeah,
they actually get their facial movements, and I'm like, that's fucking perfect for virtuosity.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, man. Yeah. Well, so I also came up with a couple of joke ones.
Oh, nice.
So another Tarantino. I was thinking Kill Bill done by Wes Anderson. No fight scenes in the whole movie. It's just really intense arguments.
Would be great.
And Bill would be Christopher Walken.
Oh God.
Yo, the bride.
You the bride. We came and shot you up. Now you're here.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Thought we killed you. And then my other one, and this is just kind of a personal wish.
Yeah.
If they could make this, I think
actually happen. Like you really want this.
I'd really like this one. It's a Passion of the Christ, done by Eli Roth. I just want him to really dig in. You thought the last one was brutal.
Ooh.
You don't even know.
Talk about torture porn.
Torture porn. Yeah. Yeah.
Literally. Jesus.
No.
Weeping Jesus on the cross.
Fuck me, Jesus, okay? Straight up Exorcist. Fuck me, Jesus.
Fuck me, Jesus. That's the new toy line coming out.
Fuck me, Jesus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like was it just Elmo on the cross?
Oh man, I love Levi's shirt. It's got Ernie,
nice.
And it's got the INRI, except it's IRNI. So it says Ernie. It's just fucking great.
Nice. Well, Philip, we're talking about Alejandro Jodorowsky on this episode.
Oh yeah. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we are.
Shit.
Oh, did you not study for this? You not research anything?
Well, no, but I guess it's no different from any of the other ones.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Let's just go with it.
Flying by the seat of our pants here, guys. We're just throwing podcasts on the wall, seeing what sticks.
You got pants?
Philip forgot his pants, too. No one told me we were wearing pants.
Damn it.
But I got a couple of fun facts, man.
What you got?
Alejandro Jodorowsky was born in Chile on February 17th, 1929.
Oh, yeah. He's 89,
he's
dude.
89.
Yeah.
And he'll probably outlive us all.
I know. You know why? I was reading a thing that said that he doesn't eat any kind of meat because he doesn't like corpses.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he doesn't
I don't
eat.
like corpses.
I don't like corpses, so I'm not gonna eat.
Trying to make more
red meat or chicken or anything like that. He'll eat.
Yet he has so many throughout his movies.
No shit.
Jesus
what is
Christ.
that? All those dead bunnies.
All the dead bunnies.
He could have ate them dead bunnies. Rabbit stew is not bad.
It's gonna be real. It's gonna be a real sad topic to talk about. That was
we'll
emotional.
get to that later. That was the saddest thing in all the movies,
wasn't it?
Dead bunnies.
I mean, screw all the people who were castrated and thrown to the side of the road. Those bunnies, man.
That elephant was pretty there.
That was pretty sad.
But anyway,
that was a pretty sad moment. Anyways, all right.
What else you got for fun facts?
He moved to Santiago in 1942.
Yeah.
Where he went to college, eventually dropping out and started working as a clown and a puppeteer at a local circus.
Yeah.
So that's neat. I can kind of get I definitely see the clown circus vibe.
Definitely.
You know, throughout his movies. I mean, even when he's being serious and poignant, he's very much a fucking goofball.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah.
He's studying under, what is it, Marcel Marceau?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
yeah,
Marceau for mime.
Yeah, man. I mean, Marcel Marceau is like renowned. I had no idea that he did that until I watched this documentary that's on Netflix. I don't recall what the name of it is right now, but it really has a lot to do with his, alternate art.
Right.
And the people that he's worked with over the years. So they also had Mobius on there, and they had just a few others.
He's got far-reaching,
dude. He's done everything.
Feelers.
Yeah, and
so we got a list of all those. I'm gonna try to read off here eventually.
Because I don't know if you're talking about this too, but I mean, he's also well versed in tarot.
Yeah.
And very much into pretty much all sorts of occults.
Yeah, just anything
esoteric knowledge.
Anything that's kind of beyond the norm or alternative, he's pretty much dabbled in or
he's
at
right
least
there,
experimented
man.
with.
Yeah.
Cool. His first full-length feature film was Fernando Yalis. I think trying to speak Spanish on this is not working, but
where you got that one?
Fernando Yalis, and that was real controversial in Mexico City, where it was pretty much shown and released. It got banned from being shown in theaters.
Oh yeah, Fondo Elise.
Fondo Elise, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being as artistic of a filmmaker, I can see a lot of his content being taken very wrong.
A lot of controversy can come from not just that film, but pretty much all of his stuff.
Yeah, all of it will make someone feel uncomfortable. I mean,
of course.
Without much warning, I'll just say that. Let an ex-girlfriend of mine watch Holy Mountain, and she didn't get much of 15 minutes into it before she was going, "What in the fuck are you making me watch?"
Which is actually the correct.
Yeah, that's how you respond. Yeah, that's how you respond to this film. Yeah. I was trying to explain it to my coworker. I just mentioned Holy Mountain because he was like, weird movies. I was like, oh yeah, I should bring you Holy Mountain. That's the weirdest movie ever. And he goes, oh yeah, what's it about? And I just kind of stared for a minute, and I was really thinking. I was really trying as hard as I could
to figure out what
is Holy Mountain about. How do I explain to him what this film is even doing? And I was like, I don't know.
I don't know what it's about. I have no fucking clue.
Kind of Jesus.
That's gonna be our disclaimer for this episode. I don't think we're gonna try to explain much or try to get into like the philosophical dissection or analysis of these movies.
Maybe a little bit
much. From what, but we understand. We do not understand.
Yeah, but we're both very intrigued by his work.
Yes, it's very good. All right, man. So, got a long... Here's another fun thing that I want to mention before all this. El Topo was actually the first midnight movie.
Oh, sweet.
So they didn't really show movies at midnight before they brought El Topo to America.
Oh, okay.
Because it had been being shown in Mexico where it was filmed. Mm-hmm. And a couple distributors got together with a theater and was just like, hey, show this movie. And we're like, I can't show this movie. It's too weird. Well, put it on at midnight, And it just blew up and essentially started the whole trend of midnight movies.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Nice.
So, neat. But anyways, I want to talk about how prolific this guy is. Take a deep breath on this one. All right. He is a novelist, a film director and producer, an actor of cinema and theater, a playwright, theater director, screenwriter, film composer, philosopher, puppeteer, psychologist and psychoanalyst, a draftsman, and a painter.
And a mime.
And a mime.
And all kinds of other shit.
Talk about wearing all the hats.
He's a mystic. He's
all
a
the fucking
surrealist.
hats.
He's fucking everything. He's everything, man. And he's such a bright spirit too. Like when you hear him talk, he almost has that Carl Sagan like I'm ascended kind of feeling.
Well, he's very madly passionate about his art and what he does and how he creates. I didn't mention this. He's also a comic book writer and illustrator.
Absolutely, yeah.
A lot of the stuff from Jodorowsky's Dune got put into 2 different comics. One is the Meta Baron.
Yeah, Meta Barons and what's the other one? Oh man.
In
Lying Call, are you?
No.
Because no, it's not that one. Yeah, but yeah, it became 2 different ones.
Yeah.
So to begin with talking about Jodorowsky's work, I really want to talk about my introduction to him.
Because I'm sure everybody's had that, like, experience. If you know about Jodorowsky, you remember the first time you ever heard about him or saw one of his movies. You know, it's real jarring. It's a real jarring experience.
Very different.
Yeah.
Scott and I used to work at a place, and we were both cooks there. That's how we met each other, and we also met another fella named Alex. Actually, his name's Alejandro.
Not to cut you off, but it's the in-call.
The in-call?
The in-call.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Lying call.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Spanish, it's lying call, but it's the in-call.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Alex is a big movie buff.
Huge.
And
like you go to this dude's house and he's just got walls of fucking movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, and a bunch of signed shit. He goes to conventions and meets people and gets everything signed.
A bunch of real obscure stuff too.
Absolutely, yeah. He's gotten us into quite a few things. Like for instance, he got me into my favorite metal band period right now, Car Bomb.
Car Bomb's so good.
So good. Oh my god. Car Bomb, guys.
Oh god, Car Bomb. If you don't know about Car Bomb,
just go do it.
Just do it.
But
like Nike, just do
it. Just do it. He approached me talking about Holy Mountain one day, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, well, I'll let you borrow it. So he brought it to me, and it's one of those things that, you know, I already understood that it was going to be an odd movie, but I just got super high and, you know, started watching it, and I mean, God, about 30, 45 minutes into that movie, you know, you're just going, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah. What the fuck am I watching? And I think I might have done it probably about 15 minutes in.
God damn, it's just so heavy to take in. And I watched the movie like 3 times and then gave it back to him because I was really trying to figure out some of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I kind of get some things about what he's trying to say, but there's some of it, so much of that movie that's so abstract. But the weirdest thing to me...
Yeah, but the whole movie's like just abstraction.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the whole movie is
the whole movie. You know? Yeah, it kind of comes together a little bit more towards the end.
Yeah,
but especially up to, you know, hour and a half in, it's very abstract.
Oh yeah, you don't know what the fuck's going on, who these characters are, because what you have, like the main character's the thief. Is his description.
Well, but there's also that part when he explains that all of them are thieves.
Well, yeah.
But they're all just thieves in different directions.
Right.
And it seems like all the characters are based on the tarot.
Yeah, yeah, because of the different planets. Venus, Mars. Yeah. Anyways, weird fucking movie.
And but watching that the first time, man, me and Scott also have a big connection to the band the Mars Volta.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of imagery.
Jesus.
Like, of course they were influenced by Jodorowsky. I mean, like, of course they were.
It's
I mean,
very obvious.
Their artwork is literally ripped out of a Jodorowsky film most of the time. You know?
Yeah.
It's like in El Topo, like when they're putting the robes or whatever on. The women are putting the robes on and doing the march down the street. I mean, that's
it looks just like some of the stuff
just
from
like Bedlam.
And there's just a lot of the surrealism in the paintings. I don't remember that artist, but I love the guy. It's the guy that did the Amputature and Farther art. He started with Amputature with that giant weird baby thing, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of that immediately lines up with the look of Jodorowsky's work. So so you and I, right? You know, as soon as we
like visually, these movies are unparalleled.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, you know, they're definitely, you know, products of their time.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they don't have the cleanest editing. And you can tell that he's kind of stretching.
Editing's like Jodorowsky just took a fucking hacksaw to the fucking film. I mean,
absolutely, yeah. It's very rough.
In the very like traditional sense of editing, it's pretty bad editing. But I mean, it works for.
It's just fine.
It works for the art.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the funniest thing about the work of the movies that we've seen. Now let's get this real clear.
Yeah.
We have not seen his entire catalog.
No.
We just haven't had a chance to.
Well, we don't we tried to look for a couple of movies and could not find them.
Like a couple of the earlier ones, and then we just the two last films that he made, Dance of Reality and Endless Poetry, are both
they're both documentaries, aren't they?
Well, they're more self-biopics.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he wrote surrealist movies explaining about his own life, which I think is cool and all, but as far as what we have seen, Holy Mountain, Santa Sangre, and El Topo.
Yeah. I think we hit the three big ones.
Yes. And then of course we've also seen Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yeah. Which is really what honestly you were talking about the first time you came across Jodorowsky. That's the first time I ever heard about him. You know, because I had a couple friends who were just like, "Hey man, have you seen this documentary Jodorowsky's Dune? It's about this weird motherfucker."
Yeah.
You know, he was gonna make Dune before David Lynch, and it looked like it was gonna be fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
So I watched the documentary, then I had some of those same friends be like, "Hey, have you seen Holy Mountain? It's fucking crazy. You should take some shrooms or something and like watch it because this is a fucking acid movie." And I'm like, and I waited. I didn't see Holy Mountain for the first time until Friday or Sunday this past week, and man,
it's an adventure.
That fucking movie.
It's deep,
dude. It's real deep, but it's fucking silly.
Oh,
it's
of course.
Silly as shit. You could watch this movie and find some level of enjoyment.
Yeah,
you know, you're not going to get a lot of character building. You're not going to get a lot of story so much. It's more about the imagery. But I swear to God, I kept thinking, like, what does this remind me of? And it's just like, oh, this is just like Monty Python's Flying Circus or the Mighty Boosh. Not played for laughs. Like this is like if they were just sincere with their. There's no straight man in Jodorowsky. They're all just the fucking weirdos.
and to be honest, there is that whole section of the Mighty Boosh where it's like the guy with the giant fro at the door. Where it kind of seems like they're ripping on some Jodorowsky.
Dude, as soon as I saw The Alchemist in Holy Mountain, that's immediately who I thought of. It's my tiny door.
Oh man, see, I like. my favorite thing out of the Holy Mountain is the intro sequence where he's shaving the 2 girls' heads.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. Like, that whole ritual thing is just, it's right up my alley.
It's real somber.
Oh,
it starts out real, it builds this real kind of, unsure tension.
Yeah, totally.
I guess, like, you just start off the movie.
Well, I'm really impressed by a lot of the music with a lot of it.
And he actually composed the music.
Yeah. And for such a low budget film, the music is very well placed.
Oh yeah.
And very, like, so like, El Topo.
I actually don't think, because Holy Mountain was like the most expensive movie made at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
because that came off the back of El Topo, and El Topo was such a huge success.
Holy Mountain was the most expensive movie made at the time.
Yeah, I remember.
Period? Like period?
I mean, yeah.
At that period of time.
At that period of time.
Fuck, man.
Like,
wow, there's a lot of rough edges on that film for it to be such an expensive endeavor.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can understand because of some of those sets. Yeah. I guess that's what it's got to be because
gotta be.
Like all the art.
Well, I mean, when he's walking, when he first gets into the monolith, and he's walking down that rainbow.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about how long.
This is my favorite part of the whole movie.
Oh yeah,
I fucking love that
where
scene.
He's standing there with the knife.
Yeah, and he's just kind of easing through, and like
yeah.
you get the perspective from red to blue.
Yeah,
where blue is where the alchemist is sitting.
Yeah.
The thief is starting on the blue, and it's supposed to represent his coming to terms with like life and the situation.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's pretty good. I like it in that scene where he grabs him and then he starts hitting him in the chakras.
Yeah.
And
he just stops.
Like, I'm gonna fuck your chakras up. What's up? Yeah.
He doesn't even touch him in that scene. He's Kung Fu master.
It's weird how little dialogue there is in Holy Mountain and El Topo. Yeah. Santa Sangre has a decent amount of dialogue.
It does.
Which I'd say Santa Sangre is the most put together, like
of
the films.
Yeah.
That one seems like it makes more direct, logical sense.
Well, and that was the first one that I watched, so that was the first thing that I had ever seen all the way through for Jodorowsky. And
you called it immediately. You were like, "Oh, it's like Psycho."
Yeah, it's Psycho. It's like somebody explained the plot of Psycho to Jodorowsky.
I make my own movie. Yeah, man.
And I think honestly that one's probably my favorite out of the three.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like El Topo's definitely the better movie.
Oh my god.
El Topo's definitely the best movie, and Holy Mountain is an experience. And if you're interested in film and you care about this stuff, you kind of need to watch Holy Mountain.
You just need to see what's going on with it. It doesn't. It's okay not to like it. That's one of the things too. Like I feel like it's completely okay for people to watch Jodorowsky's stuff and be like, "This isn't for me. I don't like it." But if you're really into film, you should at least watch them all the way through just to see what he does, because he is a weird fucking director.
And he goes off kilter and completely off the wall without even. Probably even knowing it himself most times, like,
I mean,
I'm sorry, there's a point in Holy Mountain where one of the thieves, they're actually walking up the mountain and they're getting tempted by all their past things, and it's this old lady in a field, and she stands up and dude starts drinking from her tit, and then her tits turn into plastic panthers, and so just squirting milk out at the dude. And I couldn't help but fucking laugh. So I mean, it's just that absurd. I'm sure that means something. I'm sure that has a deeper meaning.
Probably means something to Jodorowsky.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's when I kind of rolled my eyes back in the head. It's like, oh, it is Monty Python. It is Tim and Eric. Dude, it is,
Well, we were talking about that part in El Topo where the three bandits come up to fight him.
Oh yeah,
3, 4.
It's 3.
I thought it was 3.
It's the 3.
And they have
just
the balloon.
Being dicks.
Yeah, the ones that are under the colonel. Yeah, and they throw that balloon down, and it goes. Beep. Like, it's the silliest thing to witness. And then there's a bunch of other weird fucking shit.
Well, and like after the balloon deflates, they, you know, that's the call.
Draw. Yeah,
that's the call to draw, essentially.
But when it first happens, you're just going,
"What the fuck is this balloon? Why are they doing this?"
It's birthday party time.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know that.
But the movies all have points in them that are silly enough that you genuinely laugh, and I think El Topo was probably the one that I laughed the most at.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was getting at with it. It's just like, even if you don't glean any deeper meaning and your mind's not expanded from these movies, it's still they're still entertaining, and they're all very visually distinct.
Oh yeah.
And like,
if you can stop going, what does this mean, enough to appreciate what you're witnessing, then I think you'll have a good time with his films, you know?
Yeah.
And it also makes me just really lament the fact that he never got to make Dune.
Yeah.
Because whatever we would have, you know, received from the production of that film would have been something very unique. Who knows if it would have been a good movie? Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, it could have been a shit movie, but the visuals would have
been something
fierce, amazing.
Oh, dude, yeah, with the crew that he had working on it.
Well, I mean, you're talking about this movie would have come out in between what was the last big sci-fi movie with huge effects, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, so it was before Star Wars.
Yeah. So it's like you're talking about, instead of Star Wars being the next breakout science fiction, Jodorowsky's Dune, and what could that have possibly changed for, like, pop culture nowadays?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. It for a film that wasn't made, though, it did
influence a lot of other films.
Pretty much everything after it, you know, had some
Blade Runner, Alien.
Yeah, Ridley Scott just kind of ate.
Yeah, just kind of ate it all.
But
definitely influenced Mobius.
Oh yeah. You know, well, he worked with Mobius too.
Yeah. And a bunch of and H.R. Geiger.
Mm-hmm. Geiger. Yeah. Oh, that guy.
That. I just think it would have been interesting to see Salvador Dali in a film.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You know, alongside Orson Welles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So, Dali was going to be the Baron?
No, Dali was going to be the Emperor.
Oh, and Orson Welles was going to be the Baron.
Be the Baron.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
He told this story in the documentary about how he got Orson Welles.
Oh,
yeah. He kept trying to call him, kept trying to get in touch with him.
Yeah.
Couldn't find him. Figured out where his favorite restaurant was. So Jodorowsky went to the restaurant, saw Orson Welles eating there, and like pitched him the movie, and then was just like, "If you work on my film, you can eat here every day." And apparently that was the selling point.
Oh my god, oh my god, dude.
Like, all right, I'll be your Baron.
Orson, poor guy. Have you ever seen the Orson Welles show? You ever seen any of the old
clips?
No,
I haven't watched any of that.
Dude, it's awkward as shit.
Jeez.
Like, Orson Welles doesn't realize just how terrible awkward of a host he is. It's really good.
I don't think Orson Welles realized how terrible of a person he was.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly,
you gluttonous fuck.
He was pretty much one of the most awful people on the planet.
He's pretty,
but he was a genius. So you know.
There you go. Yeah.
Hear that, kids? If you're a good artist,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter if you're a shit person.
Yeah, just look at Mel Gibson.
There you go. Point made.
Oh man. So,
like, as much as I liked El Topo and Holy Mountain.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I still think Sangre is probably my favorite.
So what makes that one your favorite?
Let's see. I saw El Topo 2.5 times over the weekend. I've seen Holy Mountain 1.5 times. And the halves are pretty much like, you know, one time on Holy Mountain my computer died, so I couldn't watch it.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other time was on El Topo. I just got too sleepy halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
But like you said, Sangre is probably his most put together film. It definitely has like a character arc.
You can understand what's going on.
Story, and you can get what's going on without really delving into a lot of the symbolism. And like I said, El Topo's the better movie, and for me, Holy Mountain is something that's a part of film history that I think anybody who is a fan of this medium should watch. Well, you know, both of them really. But Sangre is one of those. It's just like I wouldn't necessarily recommend it over the other two, but I had a more enjoyable time watching it just because there was actual character development and an arc and a story, you know. Plus just the the twist isn't that much of a twist, you know, if you can figure it out. I should also mention that we tend to be pretty spoilery on this show, so if you haven't seen these movies, I feel like it's really good to go into all three of these blind. Yeah. So
stop listening.
Stop listening.
You should have stopped listening earlier. So
way earlier. But
you're fucked.
I don't know. We only talked about Holy Mountain. I don't think we spoiled anything.
Well, give me just a second. I'll try to spoil it real quick.
Try to spoil. But no, I like Sangre. Pretty much because it's about this dude who grew up in the circus.
Which is played by Jodorowsky's son. Which one is that?
That one is...
That's not Brontes. Brontes is the one in El Topo.
That one might actually be Aiden Jodorowsky.
Okay.
Brontes is the one in El Topo.
Yeah.
Alex plays...
Who plays the little boy?
Aiden.
That's Aiden?
Aiden Jodorowsky.
So, so when he's...
Aiden Jodorowsky, when he's a little boy, and then when he's in the crazy house, the nut house, and he's all feral and shit, that's Alex Jodorowsky.
Okay.
And I think he actually just plays through the whole movie. I don't think Alejandro Jodorowsky is actually in
Sangre? No, I don't think he is either.
Yeah. Right. But anyways, the movie starts out with him in the nut house, and he's essentially a feral human. You know, he's swinging. He won't eat cooked food. He'll only eat raw fish. You know, and then there's this. It goes back and shows him as a kid, and he was a kid magician in a circus run by his father.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and his mother is this religious nut who worships at this church dedicated to this saint, who's just a girl who gets her arms cut off.
Yeah, it's the Saint of Blood.
Yeah, Saint of Blood.
It's the Santa Sangre.
Yeah. But anyways, so one night, in the circus tent, he sees his father fooling around with the tattooed lady.
Mm-hmm.
His mother catches him and cuts his dad's dick off, which is a huge trope for Alejandro Jodorowsky.
He loves it.
He loves cutting people's dicks off. It's like there's 1 to 2 castration scenes in every one of these movies.
Except for the documentary.
No, it's not in the documentary.
No one got castrated in the documentary.
No one. They probably it's probably a deleted scene. I haven't watched the deleted scenes on that one yet. But anyways, mom cuts dude's dick off. Dude which his dad is like the knife thrower in the circus. That's his thing that he does. Takes two huge knives, pins her up against the wall, cuts her arms off. Okay, and then it cuts back to Axel Jodorowsky, the feral guy, who's the grown-up kid, and he escapes the mental hospital with his now armless mom, and starts a troupe, kind of off-Broadway production.
Yeah, like theater kind of thing.
Of him being behind his mom, playing her hands.
Yeah, and they do piano, and they do piano
and do all these different things where and she just kind of speaks. But the movie builds, and it shows a lot of times where she'll just use him as her hands.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, like she's sitting there knitting, and it's him behind her doing all the actual knitting, playing piano. Just pretty much any time that she wants to do anything, he has to put his hands through these sleeves that she's wearing and pretty much act as her hands.
Which, by the way, his performance of that is very well done.
It's wonderful.
The way he reacts to her emotional state and what she's saying with perfect timing.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Oh, man.
It just shows as a family.
When she gets mad, he scrunches his hands up. Like he's not. His hands are not his own. They're his mom's.
Exactly.
Essentially,
it's an extension of her.
Yeah, which is what I think I liked about that movie probably the most, is definitely the ending, because essentially you go through a series of his mom is murdering, all these girls who get close to him are
she's jealous of his affection,
right? So there's your Psycho reference right there. But like towards the end of the movie, you find out that his mom was just a puppet and just a figment of his imagination. And there's a scene after he
murders that big girl.
Oh,
muscles.
No. That's earlier in the film. I'm talking about the last. that was really good. It's this obviously this dude who's a trans.
Yeah.
And he's dubbed in a very female with a very female voice. It's just a guy talking like this, but it's dubbed. It's not the actual actor.
Dude, some of those dubs are great. Like there's one in El Topo where it's that old lady that like is in that I don't know whether it's in the brothel or whatever. Yeah. She just comes in there and she's overdubbed by like a really deep voiced man. Fucking hilarious. Jeez.
But anyways, he brings obviously a dude home because he thinks that she's the only one that can fend his mom off. So it's like maybe I can love you because you won't die. Essentially. But anyways, later on in the movie, like I said, you find out that she was just a figment of imagination and pretty much just this puppet that he was like putting his arms through and interacting. And there's a scene at the very end of the movie. It's like the last scene, and it's just him, arms raised high, my hands.
Yeah.
My hands. And it was like, yes, you're a crazy person and you did all these awful things, but he's just so happy that it was him doing it.
Yeah. Because he hasn't been able to be himself since his mom lost her arms. Yeah. But she died right then.
Yeah, she died when her
right
arms
then
got cut off.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing.
Because that was one of the things that when I first saw that movie, I was just like, how did this bitch fucking survive getting her arms cut off?
Exactly.
That's fucking stupid. Yeah. It was like, fuck it, it's a Jodorowsky movie.
And, but then it actually ends up making sense.
Yeah, complete sense.
He's just delusional.
And I think that's what made that movie like at least my favorite, at least the one that I enjoyed watching the most, is because, like I said, there was a story, there was a character arc. You saw this character develop from a young boy into a very disturbed man, you know, and it made sense, and it's like you can get the symbolism. The symbolism's definitely there, but it just, I don't know, it was a much more enjoyable watch for me personally.
Man, I like El Topo blew my fucking mind. Man.
El Topo is really good.
It's so, dude, like the other like Holy Mountain, it has very little dialogue, but the dialogue in El Topo I feel like is so much more important. Yeah. Like when he goes to fight that enlightened guy, you know, and the guy says,
about the last one?
No, I mean the
first one he comes across.
Yeah, it's after the Colonel.
So, yeah,
because the Colonel wasn't one of the masters.
Yeah, it's
he
the guy
freed the lady from the Colonel.
Yeah,
and man, I thought that whole thing was really cool. Like right after that, how he's leaving and the woman's like throwing herself at him, and he refuses her, and he's like, "Come on, boy," and then he keeps going. And then again, she throws herself, and he refuses her a second time. Yeah, it takes a third time of her throwing herself at him for him to tell the boy basically to stay there, and he makes the boy stay with the Franciscan monks. Yeah, you know, and then he just goes off with the woman.
Those monks, they have like Mickey Mouse gloves.
Yeah, that's all that. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, and
like then derby hats.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Real weird looking monks.
that was some shit. Yeah. But like that movie has so much in it as far as individual shots that are just pieces of art. Yeah. You know, like more so than, because I mean Holy Mountain's also that way, but I just feel like El Topo makes more sense with the art that it's giving you.
Is a little bit more
the visual storytelling. Is more structured. Yeah. And there are a lot of scenes that just completely get me. Like well, like I was saying about the dialogue, when he runs across that enlightened guy, the guy says, "It does not matter who wins, because death does not exist."
Oh yeah.
You know, he's just free of it. And then when he shoots him, he like goes into the ground, and it's all, because he sets up
a trap.
Yeah,
because like before the actual gunfight, he's talking with Mara, which is the chick that he picks up.
Yes.
And
who's totally like 70s hot.
Oh yeah.
Super 70s hot.
Super 70s hot. But he's saying this master is better than me. There's no way. There's no way I can beat him. And she's all like, "I want to win. You cheat him if you have to."
Yep.
You know,
totally.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think either he or she sets up like a trap door in the sand, and when he walks over it, he falls in.
Yeah, and then he shoots him in the head. Yeah. And it's such a crazy fight, and the guy that's protecting him, the two dudes tied together.
Oh yeah, because there's one dude that has no legs and one dude that has no arms, and they're kind of the dude with the arms is strapped onto the back of the dude with legs.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's one part too that I noticed after they become disconnected, that, you know, the bottom guy, the one with the legs, he still has the gun belt, so he still has his guns.
Yeah,
and he's trying to get at El Topo, and he runs over to him, and he starts like reaching for his guns with his nubs, and he can't get the fucking guns, and he tries it like 2-3 times, and then El Topo stands up and grabs the gun out of his belt and shoots him.
Oh man,
yeah, it's such a like. That was something.
And he's so upset by that victory. Yeah, like he's real upset by that victory. Like, and even after he kills the two dudes, the arms and the legs.
Yeah.
They're, like you said, they're separated, and he drags the top half back to the bottom half.
Yeah, so that they can rest together.
Together and stuff like that. Like, he's real torn up about that victory.
Yeah, really.
You know.
Yeah. And then the guy with the rabbit farm.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
there's this.
What he's wearing is very much the garb of like mountain herders and that kind of thing, like the kind of people that raise goats or rabbits or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that all white.
But he's raising bunnies.
He's raising bunnies, and he's got so many bunnies, and you're like, oh, hey, bunnies!
Yay.
And then he gets in there, and the guy's got a pistol, and he draws it, but he's like, there's no need to draw your pistol. You know, I'm not gonna attack you.
Right.
He sits down next to him, and then I love this because he says, "Let us know each other through music."
Oh, and because then they say El Topo pulls out his flute.
Yeah, and the other guy pulls out this like, it looks like a kind of like a violinish thing,
but he plays it like in his lap.
Yeah, so it's like an upright thing. I don't know what that is, but it's you know, cool. And then he tells him a lot about himself just by the little bit that he played on his flute.
Yeah,
and you know, he tells him to inspect his weapon and all this stuff, and of course he ends up losing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that's a real interesting thing that I didn't really catch. I caught a lot of things the second time I watched this movie.
Yeah.
Rather than, you know, the first time. Because the first time I was just so overwhelmed by it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, just the weirdness and trying to, you know, it's in a foreign language, so I'm trying to read and look at the visuals at the same time. But the second time I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna try to pay attention to the main story. But none of the masters actually put up much of a fight. I think the only one that was actually going to fight him
was the fat dude?
Was the first one. Oh, well,
because I mean the old man fist fought him.
It'd probably be,
you know, the old man put up a pretty decent fist fight on him.
Yeah,
I like that. He was sticking and moving.
But he was more fucking with him.
I'm a crazy old man. Yeah. Look at my fucking beard.
Look at my beard. I have why would I need a gun when I have a butterfly net?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Dude, yeah.
He was probably my favorite.
Yeah, I like that guy a lot.
Masters.
Yeah. Yeah, but
the old dude sitting in sand.
But you know, after the after he beats the masters, you know, he doesn't even feel accomplished at all.
No.
And he just ends up becoming this hermit.
Yeah.
And losing all of his ambition, you know.
Well, I don't think that was really much of his ambition to begin with.
I agree. Really, it was hers.
It was really just hers.
Which that's a weird thing about the film as well, because like that's I mean, to think that he gave up his child for a woman.
Yeah.
And then she drove him as ambition towards, you know, doing a thing. That's kind of a common trait in a lot of mythology. You know, it's the idea of the siren,
right?
Or even better yet, the idea of the oh damn it! Why can't I think of the name? What am I thinking of? The person that gives you inspiration.
Muse.
A muse. Yeah. You know, like the band.
Yeah, just like the band.
Yeah.
The band's in El Topo.
Yeah. But
they play the lady.
It's like the idea.
They all three
the
play
idea
the
of the muse. You know, a man may have ability, but a woman tends to guide that man towards a specific goal.
Yeah.
But that goal usually isn't his own. So unless he can align himself with that goal, he ends up being broken in a way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the process that they're talking about in El Topo. You know, that whole you know, letting someone else's ambition rule you. It's actually the same thing that happens with Guts in Berserk.
Yeah.
The whole, he takes on the ambition of Griffith, and because that isn't his own personal drive,
right,
it's very difficult for him to keep that up consistently forever.
Right. And he eventually leaves.
He leaves, but El Topo just crashes.
Oh, yeah.
But he becomes this, like, I'm sitting in a cave crazy person.
Essentially.
And then they do another, like, we're going to shave you scene. I think he just likes that at this point.
He just likes seeing hair fall off of people.
He does.
He does it in all of his fucking movies.
And then he wakes up, and I kind of like it that the little lady that's cutting his hair, she's like, he says something about like you know, how long have I been here? And she goes, well, you've been here since before I was born. My whole life I've been taking care of you. And then he's like, well, I guess I'll marry you.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
That'll be fine.
Or really, it's more like, you're my girlfriend now.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is my little girlfriend.
I think that still, though, the most impactful scene in my head is that church scene.
Oh yeah.
Where, you know, basically El Topo, when he's old, he decides that he's going to...
Or El Topo's son?
No, I mean El Topo himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he's old.
Different church scene than what I'm thinking of.
No, it's the one. It's the one, but I'm just saying that's the same town.
Yeah.
That El Topo ends up being right outside of, and his whole ambition is to make money being a
pretty much street performer.
Yeah. So that he can tunnel this group of people that's been helping him out for years, you know. Because they're like cave people that are kind of inbred and deformed and such, all with, you know, physical abnormalities, and he ends up like doing it outside of this church and all that stuff. Well, eventually his son that he abandoned shows up as as an adult, and he's still a Franciscan monk, and he ends up going into this church and realizing that they're offering false faiths because they're basically playing Russian roulette.
Oh yeah, they're all passing around a gun with one bullet in it,
and they keep saying only God can protect and save us. Only God can protect and save us.
Shoot.
Yeah, and then they're like, it's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. And everybody's flipping out, and it keeps click, 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 and then eventually the priest walks up, and you know,
passes it to his son.
Yeah, and he passes it to the guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's a blank."
Yeah.
So at that point, he opens up the gun, looks at it, pulls out the blank, pulls out a real bullet off of a guy's bandolier.
Yeah.
That's right next to him. Puts it in there, spins it, click. Oh, it's a miracle.
Oh, it's a miracle.
So the guy with the bandolier grabs it real quick, spins it, click. Oh, it's a miracle. And then this woman grabs it, and the whole time the priest is trying to get it, she spins it, click. Oh, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
And then one more time, and this little fucking 8-year-old grabs it and blows his brains out.
Yeah.
And it's out of nowhere, just gets really heavy.
Real fucking serious at that point.
But it took that to expose that preacher.
That church.
Yeah. And then after that, it's his son basically confronting his dad.
Yeah.
But it's really funny because, like, through no want of the son's, he ends up forming a relationship with him anyway.
Right.
Like, he ends up forcing him to. So it's this weird, like I'm sorry that I gave up on you earlier in my life because of pussy.
Yeah.
And now I realize that I'm kind of a dumbass because of that, and I'd really like to have you back in my life. Can't you accept me for being a weird old man?
Don't disown your kids for pussies.
That's kind of what El Topo's about. That's really
the real meaning of this.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of the biggest meaning that I took from the film. There's a lot of little stuff, and there's definitely a fuckload of symbolism.
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah. Religious symbolism throughout all of his fucking films.
Yeah.
I mean, symbolism to.
But you can also tell he has quite a disdain for organized religion.
Yes.
He considers himself an atheist mystic.
Yeah.
So it really just means that he doesn't accept a solid concept of a deity. And he believes in him being an avid user of tarot, and he obviously likes psychedelics and all this sort of things. He definitely has the ancient wisdom kind of thing going on.
Oh yeah. Kind of like shamanist wisdom. All that Kabbalah and hippie shit, but like a little bit more sincere.
He's a lot more sincere than that. That's exactly it. It's the new agey thing, but it never feels ridiculous with him, because I almost feel like a lot of the time, I mean, there's this weird like Anton LaVey feeling I get from some of his work, just because of the way that he has this like cult leader and acceptance of the physically handicapped, and this like because I don't know if you know this about LaVey and Satanism, but that's part of like his whole thing, is that he was accepting anybody. So during the very beginning of his thing, he very intentionally went to freak shows and things like that and found some of these people that were not accepted by the rest of the world,
pretty much being shunned by everyone
and he's
else.
like, look, I don't care at all. You're a human. and you're still part of this. So, you know, and it kind of feels a lot like that with a little bit of like the message that he's driving home.
Right.
Because like you said, if he had a lot to do with the circus growing up.
Yeah, because I mean, he was a clown in the circus for a long time before he became a filmmaker.
Then he probably saw the hardships that a lot of these people were going through.
Well, yeah, well, he was probably friends. He was more than likely friends with, you know,
quite a few of the freak show
people. Yeah.
Which know. I mean, that's we're not trying to be offensive. That's just, you know, we're using the parlance of the situation,
right?
You know, but it's kind of weird to see, like for instance, have you ever seen the movie Freaks?
Yeah,
like that. Like it's very weird to see the way that we treated those members of society
for the longest time.
And the shame that people had with that kind of thing. So I more think that he was empowering.
Right,
a lot more than
rather than
anything.
Exploiting.
Because
I mean,
I don't get the feeling that he exploited.
No,
you know,
no. Well, and it's kind of like, I mean, Jodorowsky is a very visual filmmaker. And
he likes things that are different.
I even heard him say in an interview that I was watching, he's just like, I hate the normal. Anything that's normal, I hate it. And it's like, give me something, you know, even the most disturbing and, you know, painful things about life are still beautiful because it's all life. You know, and it kind of goes back to his casting as well. Is like, you watch his movies, you won't really see a lot of big names or something like that. He was really more looking for the soul of the person, or at least that's what he said. He's like, I'm looking for someone who can actually be, you know, this person. I'm not looking for a name. You know, I'm looking for, you know,
which I respect that a lot.
You know, and stuff like that. And but like using people that he probably knew from his days in the circus.
He definitely
was
used
kind of just like a natural fit for the kind of stuff that he was doing.
He definitely used some of the same people from film to film.
Of course.
You know, mostly the extras, but still, you notice some of the same actors.
I thought the scene at the end of El Topo, in particularly was really impactful because it's this huge, like, joyous moment because he finally finishes the tunnel. Yeah. And all the people who were living under the mountain, like, rush out and kind of rush the town.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the people who are living in the town are
they're like, afraid of them.
They're
all uptight,
they're all uptight about class and how you look and stuff like that. You know, they're the normal world's people, and they freak out because they see all these mountain people coming down, and they just blast them all. And Jodorowsky gives probably one of the most painful performances just within a few seconds after that happens. And he just lets out this blood curdling, just not like a scream like that I've ever heard in a movie. Like, this is something that, like, deeply hurt him to see this. You know, this huge, grandiose moment brought down by the ignorance of other people. You know, and it just destroyed him. But then he took a shotgun and killed everybody in the town. So
it's pretty
it worked
awesome.
out.
He just straight up revenge film murders everybody. And then it's kind of a happy ending.
You remember the guns that the one of the banditos had at the beginning of the film? He just had 2 shotguns in his belt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's the one who had, like, the foot fetish or the shoe fetish.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, it was all licking on the shoe.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. Then the guy that drew the woman in beans on the ground and then started humping it.
Started eating her face.
Yeah, see, that shit was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Man.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, even if you don't, like, come out of these movies with your mind expanded, you can still enjoy them.
Yeah.
You know, there's still really silly stuff to enjoy. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up this time. This is going to be a little bit shorter episode, but I mean, we're fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some video games I want to play. You've got some video games you want to play.
Yeah.
You know. But anyways, guys, just want to thank you for listening. If you want to contact us, you can hit us up on Facebook, SoundCloud, or you can email us at madcinemist@gmail.com. I've been your host, Scott G, and
Phil D.
Philip, tell everybody goodbye.
Bye-bye. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.